Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedule Fly, and I'm excited to have Chris Bredeson on the phone today. Actually, my second interview or conversation with a restaurant owner from California here the next few or over the last few weeks, and second in a row. I just spoke with Mihal Miley up in Silicon Valley, and Chris is down in Manhattan Beach in the Los Angeles area at his house right now, but he's owner of the Rockefeller. He's got a bunch of locations, a really very well-run, excellent group of restaurants, and have a lot of respect for Chris and enjoyed having him on the podcast a couple years ago. And Chris, thanks for jumping on today.
Thanks for having me. It looks like you did the Northern California interview and now the Southern California interview.
NoCal v SoCal. That's right. Yeah, man. There is no V right now. They were all in this together. That's for sure.
There we go. I agree.
Yeah. But I am a Dodgers fan, so I will say that.
Okay. We got to get baseball back eventually.
Boy, I hope so. I would love some baseball right now. My goodness.
And they're going to be good this year.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, they were good a couple years ago when the Astros cheated, but we won't go there. That's okay.
We won't go that route right now. Too sensitive right now.
Yeah, let's focus on the positive. So, so look, we're first of all, thank you for doing this. You have a lot going on. We are really trying hard to speak to owners around the country, find out, what's going on there locally, what your plans are, what you may have to change about the business, what you think about this PPP program, and anything else, man. But you are, first of all, let me just personally, you're good, family's good, everybody's safe and well.
Everybody's good. People are we're getting to see the family every once in a while, and it's my wife and I are here, and got our little dog, and the rest of the family's good. And my brother actually lives right below me, so get to see him as well, and we're just trying to exercise a lot, to be totally honest with you, and
yes,
to give this an opportunity to improve the businesses by getting even more organized and trying to make it so that when we are able to open back up, that we're going to be firing on all cylinders. So that's kind of the plan, and that's the best that you can do during a time like that and like this.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that, and I know you've been athletic, and you were a surfer, and you've been dialed into that. I'm glad you're doing that. I've been doing the same. I think that fitness is a huge thing right now. It cannot be underestimated how important it is to exercise, be outside, get sun, get fresh air, get your heart going, take care of yourself mentally or physically, because that's going to help your mental health, which is really challenging right now. So that's like a foundation that you've got to have. I think it's so critical right now. I'm concerned the longer this goes, I just hope people are taking care of themselves, because it's going to be so important to be able to just kind of get through all this just mentally. And that's not just people that own businesses like you. That's people that work for you and everybody else.
Yeah, you can't just sit around and kind of hope and see what's going to happen next. You got to stay active and keep your mind on other things and keep your body healthy, which is, again, another reason to work out a bunch right now, right? This would be the perfect time to do that. And the only downside right now is where I live, the beaches are closed. Don't necessarily agree with that. I think the beaches have a lot of area to work out, and people can run on the beach and surf and all this and that, but hopefully that'll pass shortly as well. And we gave that a run of social distancing on the beaches, and hopefully we'll open that back up and give people all their places to work out and get outside and get some sun and kind of not be stuck in their place and stressed out too much. So
the beach, are you allowed to go out and run around town, just not on the beach, or what is the story? It seems to be different everywhere.
It's kind of a touchy subject right now, right? You got 50% of the people think one way, 50 think the other, and so they've actually shut down the beaches and shut down our strand here, and what that's done actually is everybody's just moved a little bit inland, and now they all run on the streets and in the alleyways, and it's kind of squished people into a smaller area. There's like a kind of a wood chip path that people walk on all the time, and that's just beyond busy now. And it's tough. It's tough for people to make decisions and some are right, some are wrong, and only the future history will tell us which one was correct. But I look at it from being a beach guy, and that I want to be able to run on the sand, and I don't even think I've ever been closer than 10 feet from somebody running on the sand, I'll tell you that. So, but hopefully that opens back up.
I hope so, man. Yeah.
Sort of put an effort into it, so.
Yeah, I saw some dude that I think he got arrested for paddleboarding somewhere out there or something like that.
I was surfing. Well, that's a whole other topic we can discuss, but for surfing Malibu, one of the premier waves in the world, actually, especially for longboarding, and it's just an absolute perfect wave and a legendary place. And yeah, he went out there and got taken down by the lifeguard boat and the sheriff's boat, I believe, and the sheriffs were on the beach and arrested him and gave him $1,000 ticket supposedly. And people have still, to an extent, been surfing it a little bit, and they get out of the water and they get their $500 or $1,000 ticket or whatever that number is, and they've gotten much more aggressive on it now. So it hasn't been. I don't think there's as many people surfing it, but it's pretty interesting. It's hard to keep surfers out of the water. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, man. That's $1,000 wave. That's all right.
That is $1,000 wave, and I know there's people up in Malibu. Not to generalize too much on people, but there's probably going, I'll pay that $1,000 to go surf Malibu, right?
Yeah, I just got my check from the government, man. Here's your time.
People have said that. They're like, let's just go ahead and use that check and just go ahead and throw it out there and go surf Malibu.
There you go.
I mean, people go golfing. I bet they spend $1,000 at a crazy expensive golf course, right? So it's
easily
time for the surfers to pay up a little bit. So anyway,
that's funny, man. Well, okay. So how many locations do y'all have now total, and how many are open in some capacity doing takeout, or what's your story?
So I'm in a unique situation. So we have 6 locations. We have 3 of them are one brand, and then 3 are different individual ones. And then we actually have a music festival that we do as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm in the absolute thick of it, where with the restaurants, we've closed 2 of them for now. The one that has the brand of 3, the Rockefeller, we've closed 2, the one in Manhattan Beach, the one in Hermosa Beach. We've kept the Redondo Beach one open because we have a real high quality coffee shop where we serve Stumptown coffee in there and do grab and go and things of that nature. And then we're doing all of our Grubhub, DoorDash, Postmates, and then our safe delivery that we do out of the Redondo one.
Okay.
And then the other locations, we have Primo, Italia, which we're doing takeout for dinner there every day. And then the one that's actually still down significantly, but is kind of chugging along, is Captain Kidd's Fish Market, because it's a fish market, and so we're essential, and people have to come in and they got to get their fish and their stuff to cook it with and their sides, and that's kind of the situation that we're in there. And then the music festival obviously is completely stopped until we figure out when that's going to happen. That'll be probably one of the last things that the state will allow to start back up again. So that's kind of where we're at the moment.
Okay. So how's the morale? Are y'all staying in touch with your I'm assuming you furloughed 95% of your staff or whatever. I know you got somewhere.
Yeah, so we furloughed about 180 people.
Okay.
We kept on, we're keeping on about 20, I'd say, total between all the locations. Maybe a little more than that. It kind of fluctuates. And what it does, actually, it fluctuates based on our sales. So the more that, the community, which they have been great, they come in and support and they're buying from us, et cetera, the sales that go up, we bring on more people. And that's the best that we can do. And we want to hire as many people as we can. And keep people employed. One of the things we do is we send out a schedule fly message almost daily to our staff to give them updates on everything that's going on. And even if it's a slow day in terms of not a lot of updates, we just still send them a message and tell them a little joke or whatever we can do to kind of keep the morale high. But there's good days and bad days for sure.
I'm really glad y'all are doing that. I was just the last guy I was interviewing, Mihal Mali. We were talking about that, about just we've seen Schedule Fly really, the message wall and the communication tools have ramped up a lot, more than normal, just because. And I'm glad y'all are doing that. It's so important to stay even like you said, if it's just sending a joke to just keep people connected, keep people feeling like they're there's something going on with their job or their where they hope to work again, and staying connected with their teammates. And I mean, again, since we're so isolated, for mental health, that's smart, man. I'm really glad y'all are doing that.
Yeah, we put a focus on that. I think it's really important. We've given out some personal loans to employees that need it to kind of get by. Everybody's going to get rehired when we open back up, and I think we've been kind of updating people on where we stand going into the PPP program, waiting on that type of funds, etc. But one of the things that I actually just got a message from one of my employees was asking for a little more assistance just on how to get unemployment or how to process those types of things. And so that's something to where that's one of my tasks I'm going to do today, is to send out a really detailed to the staff to let them know that, hey, this is exactly where you need to go and what you need to do. That's, people are looking for help in any ways that they can, and they as an employer, they trust us to have a bunch of answers, and sometimes we don't, right? So any information that I can give them is good information, and again, that's one of the things I'm going to do, and going to do it on Schedulefly.
That's awesome, man. Are you all so you applied through PPP? Was it like for each location separately? Is that how that works?
Yeah. So each location, different LLC. So we applied for the PPP. I use ADP for my payroll. I was very impressed with them because they had a report that they put together, a very simple, literally one click of a button that tells you what that number is that you can apply for.
ADP. Okay, that's great. Good for ADP. Yeah. Glad to hear that.
Very impressed with ADP in that regards. Yeah, so that was great.
Good.
And by the way, with the government, which I don't fault in any sense because this is out of control what's happening, but they're moving the goalposts a little bit. You know what I mean? And so ADP is constantly having to update their formula and their sheet and stuff like that. But yeah, it was very impressive. So we did that, and then some people I know in different areas, it's all different, big country, right? So in different areas, some people are going through community banks, and I've actually heard that the community banks have gotten that money much faster than the bigger banks, which makes sense to me actually, because they're smaller and they can power through it and kind of get what's needed quicker. My banking's all mostly bigger banks, and so Bank of America, Chase, etc. And so I applied right away. Felt like I was one of the first people to apply. Who knows, right? Site, goes down a couple times. Come on, got to get it in there. Made it happen. And so still no money yet, though. So as of April 16th, no money yet. Waiting for it. As soon as we get that money to be, it's going to be used towards getting employees back hired. This is a great time for training, etc. Obviously, we have rent, we got utilities, we have so many vendors, and et cetera, et cetera. So, but I think the biggest thing that people should know, what I'm going to do, and what I would hope that other restaurant owners that have multiple locations and are gonna eventually be okay, would be to use that money for staff for training. I think what a great opportunity to get those systems where you want them to be, and to be able to put some money in your staff's pockets at this time. And I think it'll go a long way, both sides. It's a benefit for both parties. So,
well, that's a great way to do that. That's not one I've heard yet, to be honest with you. So it's a really good idea. A lot of people are saying, that they either have the money or they're waiting on the money. They got the PLP number, but then the concern being that if they're not open, and they don't open for another month or two, then all of a sudden they're open and they've already had to pay the money back. Do you think that the timing of that use of that money should be more flexible than just the day you get it?
Yeah. Well, I personally think that the day that money comes in, it should be used towards my staff.
Yeah.
Majority of, I think the number is about 75%. Don't quote me on that, right? But I think that that's what it should be used for. And so I'm calling it training, right? So I'm having people, staffing up extra than what I need, and maybe throwing some tasks at people that can do some tasks, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done at this moment. And hey, but look, everybody's in a different position, right? Every business owner is in a different position, and the amount of bills that I have stacked up right now is scary. I mean,
I
it's
bet.
literally frightening. Oh my God, it's out of control how much is owed at this moment. And our vendors know that we're in this for the long haul, and so they've been beyond great, because when I have a vendor, I really commit to that vendor. So they know, and everybody's saying, hey, go ahead and take your time on that, and we know that everybody's going to get back to where you need to go. And but yeah, I think I personally use it on the staff. That's in theory what the majority of the money's for. And but again, there's other business owners that are in way different positions that are like fully day to day, and they're like, I need that money immediately. I need to be paying this and paying that, and I totally get it. So
Well,
it's hard to group people.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think training is a great way to do it, man. And I'm glad that y'all were able to get approved and get that done, and hopefully the money will be there soon. I did hear today it's been tapped out. Like, if you don't have a PLP number now,
Yeah.
or already before today, you're officially they have already used up all the money. They've allocated it, so every PLP number has a certain amount, and that equals $350 billion. I've got to assume that's going to get increased very soon, because there surely are plenty more businesses that have still been going through the process and through whatever various snags or hurdles. They hadn't gotten a PLP number yet. So
I think they have to. I think the government can't pick winners and losers. That's not
Agreed.
That's not their job.
Yeah.
Right? So just because, I mean, like for me, like the site went down a couple times on Chase. I mean, they must have just got bombarded when I did it, and it was right at the beginning. And so, somebody filled it out a couple days later, and now that fund is out. I mean, that just doesn't seem right to me. And I mean, I'm a pretty conservative guy. What's another couple $1 billion when you've done trillions? I mean, it's not even funny. It's just out of control, the amount of money that's been spent on it. But I think you can't pick winners and losers.
No, totally agree, man. Totally agree, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of folks are saying, okay, well, I've got a lot of time now to kind of revisit the business, think about what changes we need to make in the business. This is sort of forcing a lot of thought and intention and creativity. Have you and your management team sat down and talked about, changes that you'll deploy in the business?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. We have a full list that we've put together. We use this software called Asana. It's kind of a task software. And we're going to try to go with a virtual training program,
Okay.
which doesn't take away from the normal day-to-day training, but kind of gets that base of knowledge into somebody before they start the first day, so that they have that. So we're looking into that type of software and something that's kind of like the back end of our websites, right? Kind of an intranet that would allow people to do that. The training is the biggest one. I think, to be honest with you, not to get specific with us, but I think we're gonna update our POS system, just because everything there's so many different pieces everywhere, right? There's so many different softwares, this and that it's nice to get things that connect to each other and can communicate with each other. So that's something that we're looking at. For example, we use like Simple Order for our inventory software, and so our POS doesn't communicate with that. And so we're kind of doing like double the work to an extent.
Yeah.
Where if we had the right point of sale system, then communicated directly, then all of a sudden, hey, look, they just talk to each other, and now we've taken out that busy work. So love to have the managers have less busy work and more time on the floor talking to customers and managing staff, which is kind of that's where we're at. Maybe the third thing too is we're just kind of updating our kitchen recipe books, prep books, making sure that all of our order guides are perfect, and just things of that nature, because why not? And again, it funnels right back into the whole training, which training is front of house as well as back of house. And I've even thought of, not to get into too much detail, but I've thought of kind of videoing each dish being made, and having that, as an ability for the kitchen staff, again, before they come in, and they can be watching these quick videos, just like a fast forwarded how to cook each dish type thing. Might be overkill, but we got a lot of time on our hands at the moment, so we'll see. Those are kind of the things we're working on right now.
I think that's great, and then you can that's an expectation you should easily be able to have for folks that you're hiring. Everybody's got the ability to watch something on a device now, something that's easy and quick, and if they come in and they hadn't watched it, that'll tell you a lot about their commitment.
Yeah, because then our head chef is never, think about it. That's got to be one of the biggest time-consuming things for him, right? Which is the training of a new staff, continues, right? How to do an inventory, how to cook this dish, how to prep that dish, or whatever it is. So I think that would go a long way to where, he wouldn't be having to oversee somebody all day for X many days, and then he can never get another task done, So it's one of the things that we're looking at.
Gotcha. How about your real estate, Chris? Do you own any of your buildings, or are they all under lease?
I do. Yeah, I do. And so we're just figuring it out. We're having the business not pay rent for however long that needs to happen for, and we have a mortgage on one of them, and we're trying to go to interest only for a while, and the banks are being super reasonable with us in that regards, and it's a crazy time. My dad has a bunch of real estate for a bunch of other restaurants and commercial, et cetera, and he's just beyond reasonable and telling people, hey, what can you pay this month, if anything, and this is let's make sure people have a business to come back to when this is all over. That's kind of the goal.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm not surprised, man. It blows me away. I've heard from some folks who talk about, the landlords being tough or not making concessions, and I'm just thinking, how myopic is that? What?
That doesn't make any sense
what are you going to do? You going to go find somebody else to lease that spot right now?
It doesn't make no. My dad has one of them is literally like a 600 square foot small little office space instead of an office building, and it usually rents up in 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just anybody would go in there to have it, and right now, no, nobody. It's like, yeah, what are you doing? Why would you squeeze somebody right now, and then who are you going to get in the future? And by the way, you're going to miss all those months of rent no matter what. You can never make that back up. So that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah. What else, man? Anything else you want to rap about? Anything that's kind of top of mind right now?
Just ready to get back open.
Man, yeah. No kidding.
We're ready. Look, we did a lot of social distancing around here in California. Our numbers are not as bad as New York and the East Coast, and we're definitely going to continue on until May 1st, and we're told that we're supposed to go until May 15th. And I know President Trump is coming up with a plan today, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's Thursday, April 16th, and so we'll see what he says. We've had this conversation before that he's discussed anything, and yeah, we're ready. Got to make sure that the cure is, how does that go? The disease isn't worse than the cure or whatnot.
The cure isn't worse than the disease. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Sorry,
no kidding.
Day.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're ready, and we're going to do it safe, however we do it, and want to get life back to normal, and I wish everybody the best of luck, and I hope that everybody makes it through, and I hope that there's a business to come back to, and everybody's sacrificing, employers, employees. It's a joint sacrifice, and I can tell you that I want nothing more than things to open back up and to get people back on the payroll and to get the business going back up again in a safe way, and we're excited when that happens.
Love it, man. Well, I hope that they are able to come up with some way to, like an antibody test or something soon, so that we can figure out, because I have a feeling that I think I may have had it, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I think, yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that. I feel the same way too, but yeah.
All the things it was, Not real bad, but it was weird
Yeah.
symptoms I've never had, like tightening in my chest. And I actually went. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And of course, at the time, they were like, dude, if you're not coughing and having a really high fever, we're not testing you. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else could you do? So, but anyway, it'd be interesting to see. I think that they'll find a lot of people have, and maybe that'll help speed things along here over the next few months. They open back up, but then, if we start realizing a lot more people have had it, then maybe people will be a little bit less concerned about, going out and going back to their favorite establishments and
completely agree.
Get everybody back out and enjoying life again, man. Well, listen, Chris, I appreciate it a ton. You know where I'm at if I can ever do anything, of course, and y'all stay safe. And I hope they open that beach back up for you soon. That's a bummer.
Yeah, they're starting to push it, so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get there.
All right, man. Appreciate everything.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.